If somebody does not wish to open from 1st, they can open from 7th. They can open from next month, October. They can open from November. But we are allowing from 1st. So if there are schools and colleges that have finished their vaccination, they have students who wish to come in and study, well, you can do it from 1st, is what we are saying. Those who are not ready, who are not vaccinated, who feel that they need another 20 days to do it, then start from September 20th. There's no problem. But we are allowing now for the schools to be open, colleges to be open. The schools, or whether it's the tourism locations. The government has taken a decision and has allowed now the tourist locations to open and has allowed the schools to open based on the category that they're in. But obviously, situations will depend from place to place, location to location. So obviously, if there is a containment zone, if the specific locality or the people of that area feel that the tourism spots cannot be open, then that particular aspect will be considered and the tourism movement will not be allowed in those locations. So we will go with the local sentiments and ensure that we carry the people along. So it will all depend on the individuals. But yes, again, as I said, depending on the location itself, now some locations will require that, for example, a tourist comes into Shillong and he or she would like to watch a movie, and he or she happens to be only single vaccinated but has done an RT-PCR test. So they can come in, but the guidelines and the SOPs for a movie theatre require that you have to be fully vaccinated. So then obviously tourists can come into Meghalaya but will not be able to go for a movie because the movie activity will require full vaccination. So it depends on activity to activity, which again, there are too many activities, I don't know all of the protocols in there, but that will be prescribed by the different commissioners. So we have mentioned that the teachers who are there, we are ensuring that they are going to be fully vaccinated, and the ones who are not vaccinated need to produce the RT-PCR test results in a specific period of time. And from the students' point of view, there will not be any specific condition for the students, but all college students, we have seen that a large number of them are vaccinated, and we are hopeful that more and more students will come forward in the colleges to get vaccinated. Why we have ensured that the class 1 to class 5 are not, will be only online, and also there will be school visits only in the rural areas, which would mean that students will only go for visits. And in certain areas which is there, we have again, even in urban areas, even to class 8, we have said it is school visits. So therefore, we have tried to do it in a phase-wise manner, and we are starting with one phase in which we will see how the situation unfolds. But more importantly, as I mentioned earlier, nobody is going to force anybody to open a school. So if the parents also, if they feel that the student should not go, and the children should not go to school, nobody will be forced to go. So it's not necessary that attendance is mandatory. But there are a large section of people who want to go, who would want the classes to be there, and therefore we feel that it is appropriate, keeping the situation that numbers are not fully down, but they are better than what they were a few weeks back. We feel that students have suffered a lot. So therefore we are starting it in a phase-wise manner. Again, as I said, attendance is not mandatory, and opening the school also is not mandatory. But those who would want to open the schools, those who would want to go to the classes, this basically will allow them to go. And yes, some aspect of risk is there when it comes to the shops and all these aspects, and that's the reason why we have been encouraging people to display the vaccination if they have done or not, and asking people to vaccinate. Any movement that takes place, even while we sit in this room, there is no guarantee, to be very frank. And somebody could be positive and you could get affected. That's nothing we can really 100% guarantee and say it will not happen. Though I know that most of you are not vaccinated, I hope. But anyway, so yes, there is no guarantee in our world today. Today we live in a COVID world. But I think we need to all realize that somewhere we need to move on. And we need to realize that we have lost a lot of time. Children have suffered a lot, and classes have not happened. And yes, there is maybe an element, some element of risk. But as I said, we are opening it up with the knowledge and information to all that the decision will still remain to the managing committees, will still remain with the students whether they want to open and whether they want to attend class. So that's as flexible as it can get. But we are opening up because we feel that we need to start living with this situation, we need to adapt to this situation, and we need to move forward. We have specifically mentioned that each location will have its own rules and laws. Some places are, or SOPs I should say, some places are allowing single vaccination, some places will allow double vaccination. So based on that, obviously these movements will be allowed. So, but obviously the SOPs have to be followed based on that specific location. Since we're leaving the decision to the schools, whether they wish to open or not, that's the maximum flexibility we can give to anybody. So therefore, it is up to the schools. When it comes to the shops and business establishments, they are doing it for the sake of business. So obviously, they will open up. They will not remain closed because they realize that they have to, earn their livelihood. So in those cases, I feel that the customer who's coming in has a right to know whether you're vaccinated or not. And if you're not vaccinated and if he or she still feels comfortable to go to your shop, that's the person's decision. So therefore, it's not appropriate for us to compare a business house and a business setup with schools. That's there. As I said, schools have got a different kind of aspect of learning, and all the other aspects are there. Children's safety, all these things are there. And business is about livelihood, and they will do what they feel is appropriate for the livelihood. But at the same time, as I said, customers who go and visit them should have the knowledge of knowing whether they are vaccinated or not. So I think it's not fair to compare the two. As a government, we need to take as much care as possible. I understand that there are challenges that are there. It's not easy. Neither is it easy for us to decide. Neither is it easy for people to follow. And these are challenging times. But then we can't force everybody to take a vaccination because it's a personal choice. But at least we can have measures to ensure that some level of safety and responsibility is there on everybody's mind when they work in a society. So if you don't want to take the vaccination, then for the sake of your colleagues, for the sake of the customers who are coming in, I think it's only fair to test yourself every 10 days or 5 days to ensure that you are okay, so that others are also okay, and you're also comfortable knowing that you're fine, you're negative. Now coming to this situations of some people who get vaccinated and still test positive, that could be there, and again that's the reason why mask wearing is something that everybody has been telling that don't avoid the protocols. So even us, even if we are in different situations, of course right now I'm quite far away from you guys, so it's okay, but most situations we continue to wear masks. I had COVID myself. After having COVID, which was quite severe in nature, I had 3 months later I had the first dose, 3 months later I had the second dose. In spite of that, we follow as much strictly the protocols as we can. So one has to do that. It's not, as I said, it's not something obviously pleasant, but there is no other way to move forward. We need to remember that times have changed and this is a difficult situation. So we need to. And let me also give you another number which is there, I just saw today in the presentation, that almost 75 to 80% of the cases that have come forward are cases which have not been, who are positive, are not vaccinated. And over 85% of the people who have lost their lives were people who didn't take a single vaccination. So it's clearly reflecting that vaccination is working. And therefore, I once again, through the press and the media, I urge all our citizens to please take the vaccination. Even after so many months have gone by, so many of us have taken the vaccination. First, people were saying that, in a 1 month, 2 months, you will see the reaction, what happens. And nothing happened. So they said, no, you wait for 6 months and then you'll see what happens. And nothing happened. Now they say, you wait for 2 years and you'll see what happens. So these are all just basic, rumors that people are trying to spread to create fear. But we have seen the results from throughout the world. Vaccination helps, and vaccination really protects you. So I once again appeal to all of you that please get vaccinated. We have been very clear that we have set up this judicial committee, and the purpose of the judicial inquiry, the purpose of the judicial inquiry is to find out the facts and details and who's responsible for whatever actions. Now, it is not appropriate for us to not give a fair chance for the trial and for this inquiry to take place. Therefore, what we are saying is that once inquiry reports come in, that's when the action can be taken. Now, if we were to simply go with our thoughts and our minds and what we think, or we think is certain person is responsible, and take action, I don't think that's fair at all. We cannot be the judge without really having an inquiry conducted into the entire aspects. So that's what we're saying. And if we have to go with plain, simple suspension, we may have to bring down 300, 400, 500 people, maybe everybody who's involved, because we don't know who's involved where. So it's not that simple. And I would urge everybody that, and in fact everybody, majority of the people have welcomed the move of the government to put out the judicial inquiry, which is done, and let the judicial inquiry complete its inquiry, and then accordingly action will be taken. Again, these are again accumulated dues that are there, and as committed by this government, that no matter what the accumulated dues from whichever period they may be, we have been clearing the amounts, whether it's from the loan that has been taken, or whether it's from our own internal resources that have been accumulated by us, the resources that have been accumulated by us. So we have been clearing it in the past also, and obviously we will clear this also. It's a challenge for us, it's not easy, and it puts a lot of pressure on the financial resources of the state, especially during COVID times. But obviously we are committed to ensure that we give as much of stable supply of power as possible and create reforms within the system. So we are doing that, and we'll ensure that this issue also is resolved at the earliest. Rules, protection rules 2021. So as you're aware that for the Meghalaya State Consumer Protection Commission is there, and the Supreme Court has mandated all the states to come out with the rules that are going to govern this commission, which is at the state level as well as the district level. So the cabinet had approved the rules that were there, and it's long, detailed rules of number of members and how they're appointed and how much remuneration and other expenditures and other perks and benefits. I don't feel that we needed to go into all of those details, but in a nutshell, basically the rules for this have been cleared to date, because the Supreme Court had a specific deadline that this needs to be cleared, and so based on the Supreme Court's direction, the state government has cleared the Meghalaya State Consumer Protection Rules 2021. Coming to the COVID protocols, the cabinet had sat today, and based on the recommendations that have been given by the Education Department and based on the recommendations that have been given by Tourism Department, the following decisions were taken today. First, the Education Department. The government of Meghalaya has decided that all colleges will be open from the 1st of September. So all colleges will be opened from 1st of September, regarding, that is, urban as well as rural. Regarding the schools in urban areas, from class 1 to class 5, it will be online, only online. From class 6 to class 8, it will be school visits, and class 12 and class 9 and class 10 will be open. So, class 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 will be open. I'm sorry, I'll just repeat myself. Class 6 to class 8, the school visits, and class 9 to class 12 will be open. In rural areas, from class 1 to class 5, there will be school visits, then class 6 to class 8 will be open, and class 9 to class 12 will also be open. Regarding the tourism, the state government has decided to open the tourism sector from the 1st of September. The tourists, though, will have to come with double vaccination. So tourists who are fully vaccinated will be allowed to visit Meghalaya for tourism-related purposes from the 1st of September. Tourists who are not vaccinated or have only a single dose will have to produce a negative RT-PCR, TrueNAT or CBNAT report, which will be valid if they have been tested within 72 hours prior to their arrival at the entry point. The tourist will also have to generate an e-invite for entry to Meghalaya through the Meghalaya app of the Meghalaya Tourism Department. It is also mandatory that the tourists who come in should book at least one night stay, either hotel, homestay or guest houses, and declaration of the complete itinerary should be there. Tourists who are staying as guests of any family or friend in Meghalaya shall declare the full address and contact details of the family or friend. At the same time, for local tourists from within the state, they will be allowed to visit any location in Meghalaya or tourism-related purposes if you are fully vaccinated or even single vaccinated. So within the state of Meghalaya, within the local tourists, vaccinated tourists will be allowed to visit, or locals will be allowed to visit different tourism locations. Local tourists who are not vaccinated will have to produce negative RT-PCR, TrueNAT or CBNAT report before checking into any hotel or to visit any tourist spot. So these were the few decisions that were taken today, and this obviously also includes restaurants and other tourism related places, but obviously those places also will come with certain protocols, like there will be certain numbers restricted, and obviously the vaccination aspect also will be there. Those details will be given by the respective DCs. There is no real perfect solution to this. But as I said, we need to move forward, and that's what we're doing, and that's why we're urging people to get vaccinated. We're urging people to display in the shops whether you're vaccinated or not. But there's a limit to which we can do it. We can't have a military rule where we simply make it as if nobody can move around if you're not vaccinated. That's not the way society works. But we can urge, and we're hopeful that people will act responsibly and get themselves vaccinated.